What if I told you that ignoring people could be your secret weapon for success? In a world that thrives on drama and reactions, the Stoics knew something powerful. The less you engage, the more control you have. In this video, we're diving into how you can turn indifference into your greatest strength. Want to learn how to let others do the emotional heavy lifting while you stay calm and collected? Keep watching. Master the art of strategic silence. In a world where everyone is eager to speak, the one who masters silence holds the real power. The Stoics understood that words once spoken can never be taken back, but silence? Silence leaves room for thought, for observation, and for control. Instead of rushing to respond, a Stoic lets emotions settle, allowing logic to lead. Ask yourself, how often do I speak just to fill the silence? What if I waited instead? Silence as a weapon, not a weakness. Many see silence as passivity, but it's actually a strategic tool. Marcus Aurelius practiced keeping opinions to oneself unless speaking served a greater purpose. Seneca believed that speech should be measured and meaningful, not impulsive and reactive. By speaking less, you become unpredictable. People lean in to hear what little you do say. Your silence forces them to reflect on their own words, often revealing more than they intended. What if instead of proving your point, you let silence make others doubt theirs? Observe more, react less. Silence isn't just about not talking. It's about sharpening your awareness. The less you speak, the more you listen. The more you listen, the better you understand people's motives, fears, and desires. Epictetus taught that mastering the self begins with mastering what enters your mind, most of which comes from the words of others. When you practice silence, you stop reacting emotionally and start responding intelligently. The less predictable you are, the more control you have. Next time someone challenges you, instead of reacting instantly, pause. What happens? Silence is a Stoic power move. Silence disarms conflict. Arguments die without fuel. Let others exhaust themselves while you remain composed. Silence makes people uncomfortable. In a noisy world, quiet confidence is intimidating. Silence forces others to reveal more. People fear the unknown. Your silence makes them fill in the gaps. Try this. For the next 24 hours, be more mindful of your words. Speak only when necessary. Observe how people react to your silence. Does it shift the dynamic in your favor? Mastering the art of strategic silence isn't about withholding words. It's about making every word count. Control your speech, and you control the game. Detach to dominate. Most people believe that power comes from controlling others. The Stoics knew better. True power comes from controlling yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your perspective. When you detach from external outcomes, you remove the one thing that gives others power over you, your emotional investment. Think about it. How often have you lost control because of anger, frustration, or fear? What if you could break free from those emotions and stay unshaken no matter what happens? Why emotional detachment is strength, not coldness. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means clarity. The more emotionally attached you are to an outcome, the more irrational your decisions become. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that external events are beyond his control, but his response is always his own. Seneca warned against investing too much in things that are fleeting, whether it's success, relationships, or even life itself. He believed that by accepting impermanence, we become immune to disappointment. Ask yourself, am I reacting to life or am I choosing my response? How attachment makes you weak? It blinds you. When you're emotionally invested, you ignore red flags, make impulsive choices, and act from fear instead of logic. It makes you easy to manipulate. People who know what you desperately want or fear can control you with it. It drains your energy. Worrying about things you can't control keeps you stuck in an emotional loop, stealing your focus and peace of mind. The Stoics practiced amor fati, the love of fate. Instead of resisting what happens, they embraced it as part of the grand design. Detachment from expectations frees you from suffering. Detach, observe, dominate. So, how do you apply this in real life? Detach from praise and criticism. Whether people love you or hate you, neither defines you. Stay centered. Detach from outcomes. Do your best, but don't cling to success or fear failure. Both are temporary. Detach from people's opinions. Most people project their own fears onto you. Don't let their doubts become your limits. What's one area in your life where attachment is making you weak? What happens if you let go? For the next 24 hours, observe your emotions without reacting. When something upsets or excites you, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. See how much lighter you feel. Domination doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. Detach, and no one can shake you. Make others think it's their idea. Most people try to persuade through force, arguing, pressuring, or demanding. But the Stoics knew that true influence doesn't come from telling people what to do. It comes from guiding them so subtly that they believe they reach the conclusion themselves. Instead of pushing, you plant seeds. Ideas that take root in someone's mind until they become convinced it was their own insight. This is the essence of Stoic influence: control without force, leadership without resistance. Ask yourself, how often do you try to convince others directly? What if there was a smarter way? Why direct persuasion fails? People naturally resist being told what to think or do. The moment they sense they're being pushed, they push back. Even if your idea is brilliant, their ego will reject it because it didn't come from them. Marcus Aurelius advised leading by example rather than force. Instead of debating endlessly, show people the path and let them choose to walk it. Think about the last time someone argued with you. Did it make you change your mind or just defend your position even harder? The art of indirect influence. So, how do you make people believe your idea is theirs? Ask, don't tell, instead of stating your idea outright. Ask thought-provoking questions that guide them toward the answer. Example, instead of saying, you should save more money, ask, what would your life look like if you had 6 months of savings? Now they're thinking on their own. Let them fill the gaps, give just enough information to spark curiosity, then let them connect the dots. People trust conclusions, they arrive at themselves. Use the power of agreement. Start by agreeing with something they already believe. This lowers resistance and makes them more open to new ideas. Seneca once said, people willingly believe what they wish to be true. Work with their desires, not against them. Why this gives you control? By letting people believe they came up with the idea, you remove resistance and ego from the equation. They commit more deeply to actions they believe were their own choice. Epictetus taught that controlling others is impossible, but influencing them is easy if you understand how they think. The best Stoics didn't tell people how to live. They inspired them to see it for themselves. Ask yourself, how can I frame my ideas so that others naturally embrace them? For the next conversation you have, resist the urge to convince directly. Instead, use questions and subtle suggestions. Watch how people respond when they feel like they're leading the discussion. Does it change the outcome? Master the skill and you won't need to force influence. People will follow your lead willingly. Play the fool, own the board. The greatest advantage in any game, whether in life, business, or relationships, is to be underestimated. When people assume you're harmless, they drop their guard, reveal their intentions, and make mistakes. Meanwhile, you observe, adapt, and position yourself for the perfect move. The Stoics understood that power doesn't always look like power. True strength often disguises itself as weakness, just as a skilled strategist hides their intentions until the right moment. Ask yourself, are you so focused on proving your intelligence or strength that you give away your position too soon? Why people reveal more to the fool? Human nature makes people overconfident when they believe they are the smartest person in the room. They underestimate those they see as passive, simple, or uninformed. Seneca warned against arrogance, noting that people who think they know everything often ignore real threats. Marcus Aurelius believed in humility, understanding that a quiet mind absorbs more than a loud one. Epictetus advised listening more than speaking, because the observer always has the upper hand. When people don't see you as a competitor, they show their hand too soon. They talk too much, assume too much, and make reckless choices, while you stay patient and deliberate. Have you ever let someone think they had the upper hand, only to later use their own words or actions against them? How to play the fool without being one. Hold back your full knowledge. Let others speak first. The more they talk, the more they reveal. Let them think they're in control. When people believe they have the advantage, they stop being cautious. Ask questions instead of proving yourself. Pretend you don't know everything, even when you do. It makes others drop valuable information. Strike when they least expect it. The moment of greatest overconfidence is when people are most vulnerable. A well-timed move can shift the entire game. The Stoic power of controlled perception. Playing the fool doesn't mean being a fool. It means controlling how others perceive you. The smartest person in the room isn't the one who talks the most. It's the one who listens, adapts, and waits for the right moment to act. Epictetus taught that people should never waste energy proving themselves to others. Those who rush to showcase their intelligence often reveal their weaknesses in the process. Instead, be calm, observant, and strategic, and own the board without anyone noticing. For the next 24 hours, practice saying less and observing more. Resist the urge to correct others or prove a point. Let people underestimate you and watch what they reveal when they think you're not a threat. Master this strategy and you'll always stay ahead without anyone realizing how you did it. Turn criticism into free marketing. Most people fear criticism because they take it personally. But the Stoics knew that the opinions of others do not define reality, only your response does. Instead of resisting or being offended by negative attention, what if you saw it as an opportunity? Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." The same applies to criticism. Those who fear it give it power, while those who embrace it use it as fuel. Ask yourself, am I wasting energy fighting criticism or am I using it to my advantage? Why haters are your best promoters? Critics do something incredibly valuable. They talk about you. Whether they praise or insult you, they spread your name, your message, and your influence without you lifting a finger. They keep your name relevant. The more people discuss you, the more visible you become. They create curiosity. People want to see what the controversy is about, which leads them straight to you. They strengthen your brand. A strong response to criticism builds credibility and attracts those who respect resilience. Marcus Aurelius believed that external opinions have no real weight unless you give them importance. He reminded himself daily that insults are just words, only your mind decides their impact. Think about it, how many great leaders, businesses, or ideas thrived because they embraced controversy instead of avoiding it? How to flip criticism to your advantage. Detach emotionally instead of reacting, observe. What is the real message behind the criticism? Is there an opportunity hidden within? Respond with indifference. The more you ignore negativity or respond calmly, the more control you have over the narrative. Amplify the attention. If someone tries to attack your ideas, use that moment to clarify and strengthen your position. Let their noise bring more people to your message. Laugh at it. Humor disarms critics. When you show that their words don't shake you, you gain power over them. The Stoic mindset: control the narrative. Epictetus taught that no one can truly harm you unless you allow them to. If someone spreads lies, truth and action will expose them. If someone insults you, a strong response or silence will make them irrelevant. Instead of fearing critics, use them. The more attention they give you, the bigger your reach. Ask yourself, am I letting criticism weaken me or am I using it to grow? For the next week, pay attention to how you handle criticism, big or small. Instead of reacting emotionally, pause and ask, how can I turn this into an advantage? Critics will always exist. But with the right mindset, they don't weaken you. They work for you. Let them talk. You just keep winning. Win by not playing. In life, many battles aren't worth fighting. The moment you engage in pointless conflicts, you become trapped in someone else's game, playing by their rules, reacting to their moves, and wasting energy on things outside your control. The Stoics understood that true power isn't found in endless struggle, but in choosing which battles deserve your attention. The best way to win? Refuse to play the game at all. Ask yourself, how often do you get pulled into arguments, drama, or competitions that don't actually serve you? What if the strongest move was stepping away? Why engaging weakens you? Most people feel the need to prove themselves. Whether it's responding to insults, competing for status, or defending every opinion, they get trapped in an endless cycle of reaction. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that opinions of others do not define reality. Epictetus warned that those who chase external validation become prisoners of it. Seneca taught that many conflicts are nothing but ego traps. By engaging, you give away your time, energy, and focus, resources that could be used for something greater. What if the real victory is in conserving your power? How to win without playing? Recognize the trap. If someone is provoking you, ask, does this battle actually matter or is it just a distraction? Detach from the need to prove yourself. Strength doesn't come from showing off, it comes from knowing you don't need to. Let others waste their energy. The more they push for a reaction and don't get one, the weaker they become. Redirect your focus. Use your energy on things that actually build your future, not on fleeting ego-driven battles. The Stoic advantage, control through indifference. A person who cannot be provoked holds the ultimate power. When you refuse to engage in petty conflicts, you force others to fight themselves. Over time, they reveal their own weaknesses while you remain untouchable. This is why the strongest Stoics were calm, strategic, and detached, not because they feared battle, but because they knew most battles weren't worth fighting. Ask yourself, how much stronger would you be if you stopped playing unnecessary games? For the next argument, competition, or challenge you face, pause before reacting. Ask, is this worth my energy? Or is winning by not playing the smarter move? Those who fight every battle waste their strength. Those who choose their battles always stay ahead. Weaponize your indifference. Most people can be controlled by their emotions. Insults, criticism, and even flattery can push them into reactive behavior, making them predictable and easy to manipulate. But the Stoics understood a deeper truth. He who cannot be provoked holds all the power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you master indifference, you take away others' ability to control you. Ask yourself, how often do you let other people's words, opinions, or actions dictate your mood or decisions? What if you stopped giving them that power? Indifference is not weakness, it's a strategy. Many mistake indifference for passivity, but it's the opposite. Weaponized indifference is a deliberate refusal to be swayed by emotional bait. It's a calculated decision to stay unmoved, forcing others to either escalate their efforts and expose themselves or back down entirely. When someone tries to offend you and you don't react, they lose control. When someone seeks validation from you and you remain neutral, they become unsettled. When someone pressures you to engage and you stay composed, they feel powerless. Seneca taught that emotional detachment is the ultimate advantage, because once people realize they can't shake you, they don't know how to handle you. Who in your life is trying to provoke you? What if you simply stopped responding? How to weaponize your indifference? Master the art of silence. Not everything deserves a response. Sometimes the most powerful statement is saying nothing at all. Detach from praise and criticism alike. Both are just opinions. You are the same person whether others love or hate you. Observe instead of reacting. Let people reveal themselves first. The more they try to get a rise out of you, the weaker they appear. Let fools argue among themselves. You don't need to correct or prove anything. Let them waste their energy while you conserve yours. Epictetus reminded his students that a person who is truly free does not seek approval or fear rejection. They remain untouched by external forces. The Stoic advantage, control through composure. Indifference is a shield and a weapon. It protects you from manipulation and turns the tables on those who seek to control you. People lose power over you the moment you stop reacting to their attempts. Ask yourself, how much stronger would you be if you stopped giving people emotional leverage over you? For the next 24 hours, practice deliberate indifference. When someone tries to provoke you, whether through negativity, guilt, or flattery, pause, observe, and stay neutral. See how it changes the dynamic. The moment you stop reacting, you take back control. Most people spend their lives reacting, getting pulled into unnecessary battles, chasing approval and defending their egos. But those who master indifference master the game. So next time someone tries to provoke you, pause and stay neutral. Watch how quickly they lose power over you. If you found this video valuable, like, subscribe, and share, because the strongest minds are the ones that stay in control. Are you ready to weaponize your indifference? Let me know in the comments.